All right, welcome back to Footballing with Ben Roethlisberger. I am Ben. He is Spence. I was just on the phone with Aaron Rodgers. No, I'm just joking. I really wasn't.
You got to be careful with that, man.
I really wasn't. I was just joking. I did just come down from pulling my sourdough bread bowls out of the oven.
That's right.
Tonight is sourdough bread bowl night. I don't know if that's a sourdough bread bowl. Anyway,
yeah, that's a good night.
I made 2 loaves they're just out. We're gonna cut them out, and Evan's gonna make like a short rib beef stew.
Sheesh.
Again, we were talking. You were asking me like, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah. Well, and for context for the listener / viewer, we were having this conversation and just realized that we're filming a podcast episode, and we're like, hey, let's just get this going. And so if it seems like we jumped into bread bowls pretty quickly, we were already there.
Well, I think the issue is with this episode is we don't have really anything to talk about. The draft's coming up in a couple days. We're not going to do an Aaron Rodgers watch. There's not really a lot going on, and we could either not do a show, but we don't want to do that for the family.
No.
So we're going to sit down here, and we are going to. You guys are going to get a true sneak peek of what happens when Spence and I sit at the bar, because we are probably going to talk about the most random things, family things. Who knows? Like we'll hit on Easter. Yeah, the King has arisen. By the way.
Oh yeah,
happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
So that's where, like Spence said, that's where the food came from. I was just telling them about what we were doing for dinner tonight.
Yeah,
and because that's what we would be doing if we were sitting down here doing nothing.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You guys watch this show. What are we in our third year? It's like third year. We've been doing this show for a couple years. My level of excitement for sourdough bread is oftentimes trumps that of the Steelers. I'm going to be honest with you.
I love a good sourdough.
Dude.
I've gotten really into making it a lot recently.
So I used to live in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. I've been told that was the birthplace of sourdough.
Really?
That's what I've been told. The internet can either confirm it or not.
False.
I would imagine.
I don't even know if that's true, but there's no way that's true.
San Francisco, big fan of sourdough out there. Like... Big fan.
I want to have a joke, but I don't even know how to have a joke about it. Because it seems so random.
I thought so too.
I don't know why it seems random. It just seems random. You're telling me this, like San Fran in California was created so much after the east side of the country that nobody in the east made sourdough first?
No, bro. I mean, listen.
Or did it come actually
from the west?
From the west to the east and came from like the Oriental area?
Listen, I'm so grossly uneducated. I just threw out a tidbit of knowledge that I don't even know is true.
I hope it's cool, because that's like that's that useful information that you just want to have forever.
If only there was a thing we could look at.
Man, we should check on the web, on the net, on the line.
So there's on the line.
But yeah, so we're going to have that tonight for dinner. I made just 2 bowls so that the whole family could just, like, no silverware kind of thing, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just dip it and see.
Okay, so now we're over here. The internet don't even know. I'm talking ancient Egypt. That makes sense. And then...
I would have picked that before San Francisco.
Switzerland.
But, I mean, that's kind of what I thought. I felt like it's in my blood.
Dude, that's why... was sourdough bread invented in San Francisco? While sourdough bread was not invented in San Francisco, the city is widely known for sourdough. Say, man,
okay,
come
so
on
it's
now.
known for it, but wasn't invented. See, you didn't read the not.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And also, dude, there's this, I think it's called Boudin's, or what is it? There's a restaurant out there that's like known for it.
But no, it said it's known for its sourdough, so I'll give you that. The ancient Egypt seemed more likely.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're
just
good at
seemed
building
like
stuff.
it. But
them pyramids still holding up.
That's my blood.
Switzerland makes sense.
Yeah, all that. But anyway, so I was thinking the only thing that's going to make my sourdough bread bowl dinner better is if I was drinking it out of like a Viking Steinhorn mug, like an ale. I'm drinking ale.
You got to have something. Dude, that thing right up there, that German Stein.
Maybe that's what it'll be.
Dude, I feel like I should go get, I can't reach that. That's clearly somebody who's 6'5" and has two Super Bowls put that up there.
Do you want me to go get it? Should I go get it?
You have to go get it because I'm over here.
Again, people, welcome to our show.
I'm pointing to the heavens and no one's going to know what I'm talking about. So this is shot at Ben's bar. It goes like... on the other side of this is like you would imagine a bar. On the top half of this is like a shelf that wraps around, and it has like significant glasses up there. That's what I'm talking, brother. If you don't drink out of that thing, come on now. Here, let me tighten up on that. There you go.
It's actually from Germany.
It looks like it's from Germany. It looks like you just
Berlin, Frankfurt, Munich. It's got all the different. I saw the tag on it. Oh, what's that say right there?
Rolfenberg.
From is that where you Rolfenberg?
Is that so? You're Swiss German, right?
Swiss German, yeah.
Is that what it's
so
like?
I'm gonna pour my.
Look at that thing.
a little dirty in there, but there's my Stein for tonight's dinner. Maybe
there you go.
Got drinking an ale out of there.
Yeah, that's legit. Well, speaking of drinking an ale, why don't we start with one?
Let's start.
All right, like every good footballing episode starts with sourdough and beer. So the weather's getting nicer around here in Pittsburgh, and when the weather gets nicer, you start doing more outdoor activities, and I feel like that's variety pack season.
Okay,
that's the season where you go down to your local Giant Eagle and you just see what brewery has the most appetizing looking variety pack. Because you're going to be outside with some friends, you want to try some stuff. So that's what I did. I went and picked up a variety pack from Brooklyn Brewery.
Like Brooklyn, New York?
Brooklyn, yeah.
Cool.
I want to make sure because I got the sourdough thing wrong, so I don't want to be 0 for 2. Yeah, Brooklyn and Utica. So we're going to start off something light here. It's the Brooklyn Pilsner.
Okay.
It's a crisp Pilsner.
By the way, Jason Lane, stop texting me. We're doing a podcast. Okay, we don't have time.
That, I guess, another thing we were talking about before we started rolling.
This show's actually this is going to just be, you guys are getting the truest
form
glimpse of the bar. Like we don't really have anything to talk about, but we're giving you a show.
Yeah, but we are going to
get fans. I mean, fan questions.
Yeah, we got some fan questions. Yeah, we went to YouTube, got the football and family, see what's what, and they got some very
like my sourdough bread, though.
Does it? Some very interesting questions for you to answer. All right, so this is bright golden and strikingly refreshing. This is a Pilsner inspired by Brooklyn and brewed for all. All right.
Here's Brooklyn. Yep.
Is that it?
That's really good.
5%.
Crispy Pilsner.
That's an all-dayer, huh? So...
Bring that over here.
Yeah, so it's what? Crisp, fresh, and fun. Do you taste all three?
Well, I tasted crisp.
Yeah.
Let me try it again.
Think fresh on this one.
If I can, let me see if there's any fresh on this.
You're going to have to triple back for fun. See if it's...
Wow, that tastes fresh.
Dude, I was going to say, I didn't want to interrupt your tasting, but man, did that seem fresh over here.
That was fresh.
Wow. Wow.
I guess
like the Prince in Bel Air, you know what I mean?
All I tasted was fresh.
In West Philadelphia. Let's see if this one's fun. Tap it. Oh, come on. Hey, there it is. Hey, that man's having fun. Wow, Brooklyn, you've done it.
That's good. Brooklyn Brewery.
Yeah.
That's well done. Thank you.
Yes. So that's a good one. Do you have it? Okay. I'm sorry. I was drinking a LaCroix and it looks strikingly similar to that.
The Brooklyn.
Yeah. Someone's catching a lawsuit here. That's way too close.
Good yellow.
Yeah. So, like you said, there's kind of a lull here in sports news. You know, obviously the Aaron Rodgers thing is an ongoing saga, but I feel like most of Pittsburgh has just given up.
Yeah, I don't know what's... the only thing I saw this week was the talk of potentially Kirk Cousins. Like that was like the talk of like, could that be something if Aaron doesn't come? But I think the Atlanta maybe wants too much or something. Who knows? Who knows? We have the draft coming up. We'll see what happens.
The draft is Friday?
Thursday.
What is what's Kirk O'Chain's doing this next year? Is he still on it?
I think he's still under contract down there.
He's got a huge contract.
I think that's one of the things I had read that Atlanta wants the team to take on is $20 million, so they don't have to. It's like the reverse Russell Wilson, where the Broncos ate the contract, so everyone's wanting him, but no one wants
what a
concept. I'm going to pay you to go away.
Y'all got a crazy industry. I think about that. What I did hear is Aaron went on Pat's show at some point, and he was talking how it wasn't necessarily it's not the money wasn't the issue. And he's like, man, I'll play for 10 M's. And here's
I got
that. We allergic to ridiculous comments. So here's the thing. I understand that you guys get, I would say, adequately compensated for the amount of value you bring to a specific industry, right? So there's a lot of money that's made in the NFL. You guys are a significant component of it. Mm-hmm. But to consider 10 M's as like, I'll just do it for whatever, 10 million. That's crazy to me to phrase it like that. I know that's not a lot of money for his talent level.
For sure, yeah.
It. But that was hilarious for him to say that. You don't have to comment on that, but I'm just saying. I don't know. Yeah, man, hey, listen, just do it for a quick 10 M, bro.
Just a little something.
Just a little something. But Kirk what Atlanta's going to have to pay him that to be a backup.
Yeah, I assume Penix is going to be the guy. I don't. Or there might be something in there where they can cut him and only pay a certain amount. I don't know. Who knows? But hold on, I would like to back up for a second.
Yeah.
Because right before we came on air, again, one of those random things we were talking about, you had said, I don't even remember how we started talking about it, but you said that you have a unique amount, or not a unique amount, but you collected Beanie Babies?
No, not Beanie Babies. I think everybody did in the 90s. I'm sure I have some Beanie Babies. So my stepdad had like a memorabilia, like a sports memorabilia shop.
Okay, like just trading cards or like all kinds of stuff? I don't know.
It was before him and my mom got married, so I don't remember him. He was a cop for my entire life that I remember. Shout out. But I remember him talking about him having because he always had a bunch of baseball cards. Like I got a crazy amount of baseball cards in my garage.
Really?
Yeah. And so in the 90s, if something was collectible.
Do you know what, it could be anything.
I don't know.
You should maybe go through that at some point. There could be some really.
I wouldn't even know what's valuable.
You can probably, Nima.
I'll scan it.
There's got to be. It's like it's got to be something like when you go to the bank and you just dump your coins into the thing. And
Cornstar. Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah,
there's got to be a person out there that just can be like, nope, yep.
For sure, I would love to because I would love to free up space in my garage. But yeah, I mean, there's shelves of it. I think I have like a Chipper Jones autographed baseball somewhere down there. He was awesome growing up.
Dogs chew on it now.
Yeah, but I do have the complete original set of the original 102 Pokemon cards,
like mint condition.
I don't know what mint would be.
Me either.
But I mean, they're in like the hard plastic. Yeah, for sure.
So original Pokemons.
I don't know if they're first edition. I'm sure some of them are first edition, but I have the original.
So I wouldn't know the first thing about that.
Yeah,
Pokemon's a game, right? You play. I mean, people play it.
Serious
Wasn't
business.
there a thing where people walked around on their phones and doing something? Wasn't that a thing?
Yes, that was
Pokemon,
Go.
right?
Yeah, Pokemon Go. I'm too old for that. I never got into that.
Okay. I feel like that you're walking. Didn't people get hurt because they walked into things? It
seems like someone would. Yeah, it seems like so. No, but I during the 90s, picking out cards at the packs at cards at Walmart, pulling a Charizard. That I have, so I have that, and then there was another game.
I wouldn't know the first thing about. I mean, not the first. If someone said, "Hey, I'll give you $1 million right now to name a Pokemon,"
you could name one. You probably you think you name five?
I promise I can't name one.
I just gave you one, the Charizard.
Okay, Charizard.
You know the yellow one, right?
I can see him. He's got little ears like old money. I don't know his name.
No, that's Pikachu. No big deal.
Okay,
but I'm gonna be honest with you.
Bro, I'm dead serious. I don't.
My knowledge is not. I wish I knew more about it. I could probably name you 7 to 10.
That's 7 more than I can do. Charizard and Pikachu.
Charizard.
I don't know.
Yeah, nailed that. No, but yeah, so I have that. But yeah, we were talking about memorabilia stuff, and I just have a weird section in my garage.
Someone help us. I am so fascinated. I want to know. I want someone to be like, you don't realize that is worth $100,000.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know, but
I do know that's probably pretty valuable. But again, what I have been told is that there are first edition runs of the Pokemon game, and I don't know that all of the original 102 that I have are all first editions. I'm confident a handful of them are, but I don't know. But yeah, that, and there's another card game called Yu-Gi-Oh! Again in the 90s, probably early 2000s. I got a bunch of those too. I think I have whatever. I never got
those
into
Game Boy games.
No, they were Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of like anime, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not into anime. I don't know. I know a lot of people are, and they're for real about it. But it's I think it was kind of a mainstream and anime thing. But when we was kids, we would watch it, and then we got the cards. But we just collected them. I got a lot of them.
This is so those of you out there watching this and listening, I'm learning about Spence. These things for the first time.
You didn't even know about my Pokemon collection,
I knew
bro.
Nothing about
hey, you didn't even know about my Pokemons, right?
This is there are going to be so many people that turn this on that turn this show right back off, which is what it is.
I mean,
but family, the family that's here for us every week, regardless of, you're all gonna love this because this is us.
Yeah, and I will say I feel like real card collectors know a lot more about those two things. I'm as casual of a like I'm not even a collector. I wouldn't even say that. But as casual as a fan of those two things, like as soon as I started listening to like punk rock and stuff, my interest with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh as soon as I got old enough to realize like, oh, I don't really want to play, because we would actually play the game.
See.
And like, but my stepdad was like, no man, collect that, keep them mint. I was like, well, it's not that much fun. Now I just have them, but I don't really know that much about the worlds. I wish I did.
I have a lot of cards, obviously with me, that they would send us stuff, and I would use them for like target practice, like shooting guns.
Did you really have like?
People get so mad at me for that.
So I'm sure like they just send you stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have like rookie cards? Just, like a mess of them.
I have a bunch of cards. My mom used to collect all of like the cards, and then she gave them all to us.
Like for you. Or just like she liked collecting cards?
She collected like my cards.
Oh, okay.
All of mine, so she like this big thing full of them. And I don't even know where they are. Nima said to me, like, you should check your, like, they're starting to be really valuable. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Well, dude, so Paul Skeens had like a 1-of-1, his debut patch. It was like a big thing for a while. I think the Pirates acquired it for like $1 million or something.
Didn't they try and is that the one they tried to give the kid like season tickets, and the kid's like, nah, I'll take the money.
Yeah. Smart move, kid.
I'll take the money.
Smart move.
I'll be a financial advisor for that one.
Yes. We'll give you season tickets for life. To what?
Yeah.
To y'all? Nah.
I can just walk in anyway. $5 anywhere I want in this place.
Yeah, y'all give me $20 to show up.
Keep that $1 million and pay a player.
There you go, dude. That would have been the most. Oh, dude, imagine if the kid said that.
They have it live on ESPN. Like, this is the greatest thing. This kid's gonna set the $1 million.
Yeah,
a big check. The kid they give it to him, he said, "Now give this back to you to give to a player." That
he said, awesome. He looked him straight in their soul and say, "Y'all need him more than I do."
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
That would have been the most gangster response of all time.
Pittsburgh would have made that kid the mayor. Like
100%.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been so dope if he did that. That's funny. Did you ever do any of that growing up, collecting cards and stuff like that? I feel like
but nothing crazy. Like I did have a bunch of cards. I tried to like the Dream Team. I had some of their cards, Michael Jordan stuff, some football ones. But it's funny looking back now when if I find somewhere the kids will get a pack of cards and be like, "Dad, what do you think about this person?" Like, yeah, Dad played with that person. Dad knows that guy. Yeah, he was Dad's
That's actually I was in that game.
Oh, there's that guy actually played with his dad and against him.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah. So
do the kids collect cards at all?
I mean, not really. They have some, and they take them to school, and they give them like they do the most. They do the most bizarre trades. Like they'll be like, "Hey, what do you think about?" And they'll ask me, like, "Dad, who's better, Joe Burrow or Kirk Cousins?" Like something ridiculous. I'm like, "Well, Joe, obviously." But they'll ask, like, "Do you think T. Higgins and a Jamar Chase card is a good trade-off for a signed Josh Allen card?" And I'm like, guys, like, what do you like? So they trade things, and I told you, I think I told the story before on here. I did catch my kids until they couldn't do it anymore. Like they would take my cards and trade them for candy and stuff. Like, come on, guys, we can't. Or for a while there, the kids were coming home and be like, "Hey, so and so wants to sign. So and so wants to sign." I'm like, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, no, they don't.
Yeah,
So I think they were getting stuff signed to give to kids.
Yeah, they run a little memorabilia shop. Yeah,
I saw a bunch of money in my kids under their bed, but
they come in with new Jordans on. You're like, hold up, where'd you get those?
Come on now, what's that from? So
that's awesome.
Anyway, how was Easter?
It was good, man. Like it was, we did church, which was awesome. And our church did a phenomenal job. Just quiet, man. What was funny is we did, so my kids are 1 and 3. So you're not, running around. But my wife bought these glow in the dark eggs.
Yeah.
And really they're just 35 little small, glow sticks that you have to break individually. So I'm in there snapping these things. I'm like, this is so cool. He's risen. Awesome. And then we did like a little small thing before bedtime, just kind of the upstairs of our house. We just blacked it out and just put them all over and let them run around. So that was cool, but we didn't do like in the yard or. Yeah. What about you guys?
Did they wake up in the morning and do like baskets and look, or the morning was more?
No, the grandparents sent a bunch of stuff, and they were in the room when it was open, so they got it all. There was no basket. We didn't get that far. It was to the point like, oh, that looks like it's for me. I should play with all of this, and they did. So we're sorry, grandparents.
Yeah. No, we did Saturday. We had Ashley's family and my family here, so we did a big thing, and we do it. It's like we're all the kids, so it's. My 3, Ashley's brothers 3, Ashley's other brothers 3, my sister's 3. So there's a bunch of kids.
You ran a preschool over here.
It's crazy. And so, they came over on Saturday. We had like a big, meal. Everyone's here. And we put, I bet 200 eggs outside.
How long does that take you?
To put them out?
Yeah.
Well, I was watching.
You supervising.
I was making sure everything was okay.
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
I kind of walked out like, we're done?
You're like a blister. Show the work's done, bub.
But it was funny because there were so many eggs that like there was like a bush out front that had like 6 eggs. Like people were just like, I think my brother-in-laws were like, bang, bang.
That was a dad.
Bang,
he
bang.
said,
yeah, and Ashley's put them in like unique places and whatever. But
all the moms get creative and thoughtful.
Yeah. But no, it was cool. And then the kids all go do it, and I'm like, at what age do we keep doing this for all the older kids too? Like I'm not sure. So. But yeah, so we did all that. Then had a really nice meal and hung out, and then Sunday morning. Put a couple eggs here in the house, and then the kids each get like a basket that's from us that has some, a new lunch pail. Yeah. They each got a new game or whatever it is, that's just cool. Kind of little cool things. But no, it was fun. And then went to church on Sunday, which was really good. We did do we went to Northway that thing. It was Friday.
So
it was unbelievable.
My wife and my daughters went. I thought we were going to go in the morning.
Yeah,
they ended up going in the afternoon. Yeah. I was golfing. Terrible reason.
You did golf.
I did golf.
By the way, the funniest thing about the whole thing is because we ended up having a little barbecue right at the farm.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And you came over, and when people were showing up, and then I was like, I saw your wife and I saw your girls, and I was like, well, is Spence not coming? And she's like, well, apparently golf takes like 4 hours.
Yes, dude.
I was like, yeah. Like she wasn't telling me anything I didn't know. If she would have said like apparently golf takes 8 hours, I'd be like, like that seems unusual.
Yeah.
She goes, apparently golf takes 4 hours.
I need to.
And I'm like,
yeah,
it does. What time do you tee off? She's like 3, and I'm like, yeah, he won't be here till 8 o'clock by the time he gets on golf and drives here.
Oh.
And she was like, yeah, I didn't know that. She goes, at one point I text him, he's like, yeah, I'm just making the turn or something like that. I'm like, she goes, I had no idea. So I'm thinking like, he's not a scally, he's playing the little 9-hole fishing putt. Like he's real golfing.
Yeah. So we did a full 18. I remember. So Alex hit me and he's like, hey, yo, you good for 3:30 on Friday? I was like, bet, let me check with Ken's. And I was like, hey, you cool if I roll with Alex 3:30 Friday? She goes, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, it's a full round. So it's going to be a couple hours. Are you sure? Literally the text.
But a couple hours with her could be 2 to 3.
Right. I should have specified. Yeah. And so she's like, yeah, that's fine. And she hit me at the 9th of the hole. She's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I mean, I'm playing all right. And she's like, no, like, I'm like,
are you home?
She's like, what hole are you on? I'm like, oh, we're halfway through. She goes, it's been 2 hours. I'm like, I think
you thought we were going mini golf putt-putt.
Yeah, I don't think you know what the sport is.
And I tried to comfort her too. I was like, because you were at Nevillewood, which was I'm a member there, and they sent out a note this year about how the pace of play has to pick up this year. And I'm like, so I was telling her that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this year they actually want pace to get faster. And I'm like, so now they want it to be like, I think like before 10, 4:15, which it still is a long time to play. But she was like, oh, what did it used to be? I was like 4:20. She goes, oh, so it really, I'm like, well, it's a big deal for her.
Yes, yeah.
But she didn't, but anyway, so yeah, that was quite a funny conversation I had with your wife about the real time frame of golf.
Yeah, well, I digress because you were talking about something actually important about Northway and doing the 7 stages of.
I brought up
So I wanted to go to that. I didn't go because I was over there shooting in the high 90s. So, but how was that?
Northway did a great job. Yeah. It was awesome. They had it set up where there were like the 6 kind of like stages of everything from like the last like him sharing the wine with everybody to washing the washing of the feet to, and then each station kind of had like a little reading. So the kids all went and we went and sat in like a row where there weren't no people, and each of us took turns reading, and then they talk about kind of what the significance of it was, and then you go up and participate in it. So maybe you take the communion, or you went and you wash your hands. They had a section of a crown where there was like a thorn crown there, and you saw the crown, and then they had another crown that was like a golden crown kind of, and it was basically like, don't touch the thorn crown. But it was like, he did this so we could do this, wear this one, so we didn't have to do that. And the spices, it was a really, really, we were there for at least an hour.
Wow.
And everyone just participated. You felt like the kids really understood it. And they did a great job. So it was really cool. And I'm glad we had talked about at one point going with some friends. As you know, we have a great group of friends. We were going to go, and I'm like, this feels like something we do alone, like just our group. And so I think she's glad. I think we're all glad we did it just with us, because you had time to really experience it with our family. So it was, I really enjoyed it. So kudos and thank you to Northway for all that.
Yeah, that's huge. And that was something my wife said the same thing. She brought home the pamphlet for me to read, and I've been reading through it. I'm like, dang, I wish I'm excited to do it next year. That's just poor planning on my part, but I think it's a powerful thing. And it's something too, I don't know if you did this growing up, but like this year was one of those years I'm like, man, I feel like I've never held Easter with the same reverence or significance as I did other holidays. Like I think because I received it first as a holiday, like, oh, it's like Halloween and Christmas and Valentine's Day, that you forget that it's actually like the most important moment. It's a time to remember the most important moment in human history. Mm-hmm. And so this was one of the first years that like I did Lent, like I gave something up for Lent. I did like really took my time to remember what this is all about beyond like the Easter eggs and the, cool clothes. I'm like, man, I think moving forward in my family, I'm going to establish that as much more of a significant time.
The Lent part, or just the whole thing?
The whole thing, to where like definitely Lent, because I think there's something powerful about the preparation. Mm-hmm. The time leading up to Easter puts you into and maybe that's why it hit me this year more, because I actually, partook in that. I don't know, the nuances of that, but I'm grateful, or I'm excited to learn more of that as I do that next year. But yeah, I just feel like it was beyond. It's always been beyond like the bunny and the eggs, which that's weird because they don't have eggs. But but it was one of the first times I was like, oh, I want to establish this for my family as something of like. Mm-hmm. You look forward to it the same way you would anticipate a Christmas. Mm. You know what I mean? Because we're always like, oh, Christmas shuts the world down.
Right.
And I think Easter deserves that too.
I would say, would you, in not in terms of like the American holidays.
Right.
Would you, I would love to hear your argument, if you will, of this or Christmas, Easter or Christmas, which is a more important holiday in terms of what it truly stands for. Yes.
In terms of our faith, that's a tough one, right? Because you don't get Easter without Christmas.
Right.
Right. But I would argue that if Jesus does not raise up from the dead, and Paul says this in 1 Corinthians, if he doesn't get up, then none of this matters. Mm-hmm. Like it not only does it not matter, Paul goes so far to say that like your faith should be pitied. You should be embarrassed that you would even live the way, like if he didn't get up, then he's not who he said he was. He didn't do what he can't forgive your sins, right? That's if he didn't get up. But if he did get up, then everything changes, right? And so all of history, all of the Christian faith, all of humanity, I believe, hinges on the fact that on Sunday he got up. Mm. So I would argue that Easter's more significant in that regard. But again, it's the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
I
would agree with you. Yeah. No, I would agree with you. I mean, being born is obviously a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Being reborn for all of us too, because, because he got up, we all are new.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Where Christmas, he was born, which obviously leads to all of these things happening, which doesn't happen if he isn't born. So I totally understand that. But like the new birth for all of us, like especially when you go back, like Ashley's doing so much with her seminary stuff, like the Old Testament and all the old laws and all the like sacrificing that like the amount of sacrificing that had to happen in the Old Testament, the amount of animals and blood that needed to be shed was unbelievable. Yeah. Like it was crazy, right?
Well, I remember some historian, I wish I remember his name, said one time like there was a constant flow of blood out of the temple.
Yeah.
Because of, and this is like, welcome to football. This is a nuanced subject because there has to be context. Because if you don't subscribe to the Christian faith, this is you not made it this far. This is going to sound absolutely crazy to you. And I think should rightfully if you don't understand what we're talking about. But, and I think there is nuance and context that is needed to understand the depth of what we're talking about as far as sacrifices. Because I was reading Romans this morning about the law, and dude, I could sit down here for 4 hours, and like, because I was literally late over to your house because I was telling my wife about it. I was like, yo, did you know of this, and that gives me, and it was a whole thing. So the fact that you even talked about that and the law and the purpose of the law and Jesus coming to fulfill the law, all that stuff. I'm like, dog, it just clicked. And I've gone and traveled the country and preached this before, but God just gave me a new revelation to it today. I was like, God, I said, well, you got to get in the book, man. He does that. Like, that book's alive. So, yeah, would you concur about Easter and the significance of versus Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's 6 and 1/2 dozen, chicken and egg, all that. I totally agree with you. I feel like Easter might, in my opinion, maybe because we just had it too, so you might feel that way. But in terms of like, again, in our faith, not in terms of holidays.
Yeah.
In terms of, which is, to your point, Easter should get much more love than it should. But I might give it like just a little bit of a lead, just because of what it means for everybody. I don't know. Yeah. Again, both awesome. Both mean so much. Both are, it's just such a special thing to think. Like you said, if he doesn't get up,
who cares?
Then
who cares? Literally, Paul goes on to say, dude, eat, drink, and be merry because tomorrow you die. Who cares?
Yeah.
Which is like, I think should give Christians more grace with people who don't subscribe to our faith. Is like, if we look crazy to them, because it's crazy. It's crazy to somebody who's not experienced the risen Savior. That's a crazy, think about you before you encounter Jesus, think about you. Yep. It's like, oh yeah, I get it for sure. So, but it's a beautiful gift that we receive, and there's so much freedom, and that was the undercurrent. If I had to acknowledge anything from my time this morning reading, it was like, man, I will say I am very preoccupied with crap that don't matter on a daily basis, and just a discipline to reorient the perspective. So,
well, I appreciate it. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing quickly with us.
Yeah. I don't know how quick it was, but if you're along for the ride.
And if anyone out there is not sure what we're talking about or is curious, man, either send us a note, go find someone out there that knows, ask questions, man. I think that's a great start. Just be open to hearing things and to learning new things. And again, ask questions and be open to understanding some amazing things and be open to your mind being blown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's great advice, man. God's not afraid of your doubt.
No, not at all.
So,
do you want to talk football or no? Is that not?
Yeah, I think that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Oh, whatever.
Well, whatever. No, dude, listen, your show. We talk about whatever.
We talked about this coming in. We told people you're all gonna.
We did. We gave you a warning. You might catch some Yu-Gi-Oh. You might catch some gospel. We don't know.
We know you're going to catch some bears, some gospel, some football.
Yeah, well, let's do this. Let's
do another one and get into some questions.
Let's journey on into this lovely decorated can here, little pop art. Again, these are
fresh and fun.
Yeah, these are from Brooklyn Brewery. This is called Pulp Art.
Oh, it must be a little bit of an IPA. Hazy, maybe? A little pulpy?
Dog.
Is that the pulp? Is that what you mean, pulp or pulpit?
Pulp.
Pulp.
Yeah, we just got out the pulpit. This one's hazy, juicy, tropical.
Oh, I'm going to like this too.
All right. This is Pulp Art, blends beer and art with billboard-sized notes of tropical fruit and a soft finish. It's a hazy IPA for the people, my man.
You know what else is for the people?
What's that?
Us.
That's right.
We are for the people.
For the people, man. The people's champ. That's you.
You know what? That's
6.5.
It's not as tropically.
Oh yeah,
if that's a word, tropical.
It is, sure.
Sure, sounds right. It's not as tropically as I thought. That's definitely not a word.
Tropical would probably be.
Tropical would work all the way, right? It's not as tropical as I thought.
Yeah.
But tropically sounds cool.
Yeah, it's tropically lacking.
Tropically delicious. No, what was that? It's delicious.
Magically delicious.
Magically.
Yeah.
What Same is it? Sort of thing.
Lucky Charms.
Something like that. I don't know. We are all
nailed it.
All over the place. It's good though. It's hazy. It's juicy.
It's 6.5.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like that. Brooklyn, you're 2 for 2. Thank you, Brooklyn Brewery. Well done.
We got to go check them out.
Let's check them out.
Yeah. Speaking of the people.
Yes.
Being of the people, we're going to turn to the people, the football and family. We got some fan questions. We got some Q's. 7. You got to provide some A's.
Okay.
All right. So this is an interesting one. And I know you've talked about it on the show before, but I think it's worth revisiting due to the fact that it was asked. And it's kind of like a follow-up one that I read earlier. I'll try to find it, but they go tandem. So I'll ask them together. Okay. One from Eric Norton, I think.
Edward Norton?
Edward Norton, huge fan of our show.
Yes.
Eric Norton. Okay. He says, what was your favorite NFL team as a child and why? The secondary component to that is when players get to the league, do you find yourself continually rooting for that team if you're not drafted by them?
Good question. Growing up, I was a Niners fan.
That's right.
Joe Montana, loved him. Loved just that whole team. Ronnie Lott, are you kidding me? Roger Craig. It was just, I love that team. Anyway, so grew up a Niner fan. And then when you get in the league, it's interesting. Some people may feel differently. I've had conversations with guys about this. Like it's one of my things I love to ask rookies when they come in, like, who'd you grow up liking? And then, what do you think? Did you want to play for that team? Like I grew up a Niner fan, but it wasn't like I didn't care to, I got to play for the Niners. Mm-hmm. Like I would have went and played anywhere.
Like you obviously weren't from San Francisco.
No, yeah. And so, but I'm sure there's people that I'm sure James Conner, Charlie Batch, Bruce Gradkowski, guys that are from here, like when they get a chance to play for your hometown team, that's probably different. That's probably pretty special. But then once I got to the league, I kind of my love for those other teams, just I didn't care to watch the Niners and root for them. Sure. It was all about the Steelers. Other people might be a little different, but for me, it was almost like instantly I was like, I've moved on.
Yeah. Well, like, when you get drafted by Pittsburgh and you didn't grow up a Pittsburgh fan, I would imagine you were aware of them being from Ohio. They were kind of probably the enemy at that point.
I would say the enemy, but you knew of the Steelers, right? Because of, I'm kind of like where I'm from, it's Northwest Ohio. And probably the closest team is probably Detroit.
Yeah.
But you're in Ohio, so it's Browns, it's Bengals, like those are the big teams, and Detroit was a third. But there's still a lot of like Steeler fans. You know how they are.
I do.
So I wouldn't say necessarily a rival, but you knew that they were going to play, obviously divisions, and so you knew about them. You knew the bus, and you knew about Cordell Stewart, and then it's just you knew about the Steelers.
Yeah. So all of that opposition clearly went out the window when you're like, oh, dude, I'm one of them. I'm one of them now.
Yeah.
I'm a Steeler.
Yeah. As soon as you become, you get drafted by that team. Like I'd have a hard time believing that like I'll just use for an example, just so I can't think of like Charlie Batch, right? Being from here.
Yeah.
If he gets drafted to the, our rival Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Cleveland, any of those, I can't imagine that when he goes there, he's like you're just so excited to be in the NFL. It doesn't matter where you go. You don't go to be like, man, I hate this team. Why do I have to go here?
Well,
you make the league. That's it.
100%. I mean, you worked your whole life to do that job. Where you do that job probably doesn't matter. It's probably a cherry on top if you get to do it for a team you grew up with. I think about Kenny Pickett getting to win a Super Bowl with the Eagles is probably a cool thing. But then you see cats nowadays coming out of college saying they won't play for certain teams.
Yeah,
what's that about?
That's crazy to me. I mean, I know like the first one that I can remember hearing about doing that was Elway, who didn't want to go to the Colts. Said he'd play baseball instead, and this whole thing. I know that Eli didn't want to go to San Diego at the time to play for the Chargers. To me, I just give me a chance to get in the league. Like I just want to play. Like I didn't. These guys are all going to be first. The number one overall pick. When you hold the cards as the number one overall pick. I know Shedeur Sanders. I think his dad came out and said some stuff like that. But
sure.
It's. I just wanted to get here. Like that. Let me play anywhere. Just let me get to the league. No, such an honor to get there,
Yeah, I mean, granted, I've never made it to the NFL. Never will. I think my window's closing. But that seems like that would be the mindset for most of us on the outside looking in. It's like get in the league and then figure it out. Who cares? But when you're making that decision coming out of college, like, what was the motivating factor for Elway? Just didn't like the organization? Because I think there's some merit to it when it's like, dude, that organization, the way that it's structured, the way that I've watched them operate, might legitimately waste my first 4 years of.
Yeah, I forget what. I mean, there was a one of the 30 for 30s or a show like Elway to Marino or something. They both had the same agent, and it was an awesome documentary. And I forget exactly what it was, but it might have been something where he didn't trust like either the coach or it was a team. Like maybe the Baltimore had just left. Baltimore was going to Indy or Indy to go. Like there was there was just some things that were happening, and so I don't remember the exact reason, but he's like, I'm not going to. I don't want to play for that franchise.
Yeah. Well, turns out he's pretty good, so he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, let's move on to the next one here from Lucas. This is a draft question. Which quarterback in the draft do you think could best benefit the Steelers organization from a playing style standpoint? Based on their skill set, who do you think would benefit what we got going on here?
Well, I think that, I think you want to get a guy. I think, I'm never going to knock anybody. I don't want to say that any guy can't do it. But I've watched him play for a while. Not for a while. That's totally wrong to say. I've watched him play a few games, and I really liked what I saw from Jackson Dart from Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Like, just seems like he's got a gunslinger mentality, but he can run. There's just something there. I really like the kid Will Howard from Ohio State. I just think he's a winner. I watch, and by me saying that, the kid at Louisville, I never got to see him play, so I don't know anything about it. I know that Slough or whatever. I know they really like him. Got to see Shedeur Sanders a little bit. Got to see Cam Ward a little bit. But so I'm just going to hit on those: the Jackson Dart and the Will Howard. The Will Howard guy, what I like the most about what he did at Ohio State was one of the first games of the year. It might have been the first one or one of the first. They went out to Oregon. Mm-hmm. They're driving down the field to win the game against, I think, number 1 ranked Oregon at the time. And Oregon is a team that everyone was, figuring was going to be the national champion. They're driving down the field, and he takes off running towards the end of the game with no timeouts, I believe. And I might screw this up, but my overall reasoning of the story will make sense. He slides or gets down, gets tackled. Something happens, and the clock runs out. Mm-hmm. They have no time to spike it, no time to run another play. Like, the game ends with, in essence, what you would call looking back at a mistake.
Sure.
He made a mistake. He tried to, extend a play, whatever it was, and time ran out without them getting a shot at the end zone. In that situation as a quarterback, and you're playing a team, that people think have a real chance. You're playing a team that people talk about having a real chance, and this is kind of like a big game. You're at their place. You have a chance to win this game, and you lose it, and you kind of lose it, if you will, on your mistake. I think a lot of guys would just kind of like crumble at that. Like, you let your team down, you let the guys down, and just kind of go into like, man, I let us down, right? What did he end up doing? They didn't lose another game. They play Oregon in the Rose Bowl, I believe, blow them out, go win a national championship. And it's like, I just love the fact that, to me, that's a winner.
Yeah.
That's a guy that made a mistake that was like, you know what? I can't tell you what he said or anything like that, but I'm sure he's thinking to himself, like, I let the guys down. I let my team down. I let the fans down, the coaches, myself, my family. I'm not letting that happen again.
Yeah.
And he ends up running the table and winning the national championship. And people will be like, yeah, but he had NFL players around him. Okay, what's he going to have at the next level? Yeah, NFL players around him. Yeah. Plus, he beat teams that had NFL players. Are you telling me Georgia and Alabama and these other teams didn't have NFL players? So to me, again, it's just a long-winded story about a guy that, or an action and what he did that just really impressed me.
Mm-hmm. So it's funny when you talk about guys that you think could make an impact in the league. Obviously, you have insight that somebody who has not played a position has. Are you looking at all of those intangibles first? Because obviously you got to know how to throw the ball. You got to know how to read it. Like, there's some things that, like, dude, these are prereqs for this job. Being good at the skill stuff.
Yeah.
Like, are you when you're watching college ball, are you looking at those kind of intangibles?
I like the intangibles. I think there's something about winning. I think there's something about, like, when the pocket's not clean, when he doesn't just have a perfect lane to step and throw it, when he's got to drop his arm, or he's got to throw on the run, got to throw right, got to throw left, got to, maybe drop a screen ball over top of a rushing defensive line. Like, those little things that you can't really simulate in a pro day.
Yeah.
In a pro day, everything's perfect. You should probably complete every pass, and everything should look beautiful. I want to see that. And that's kind of what I liked about Jackson Dart when I was watching some of his games. It's like, man, he could just make the ugly look good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's perfect, or no one is, but there were just some things that I was really impressed with how he played the game. And because here's the funny thing about Jackson Dart: when I watched him play the games at Ole Miss, I'm like, man, there's something about him. I like it. And that's, to me, when you say that there's something about him, like, there's something about him.
Yeah.
That's that intangible thing, right? So anyway, when I watched him play at Ole Miss, I was like, boy, I like that right there. And there's something about him. Now, when I watched him at the combine, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed at the combine. Like, I was kind of like,
he almost needs that.
Almost like, man, I don't know. And so usually it's the other way around. Usually it's like you're watching the game like, and then you go to the combine or a pro day and you're like, oh, the guy impresses. Now, to me, what was more valuable is the game. I like that. I like that. That was way more valuable than sitting where it's pretty and not looking good. So again, doesn't mean it's going to translate in the NFL, but there's just something about that. So to answer your question, the intangible things there's something about the intangibles that me as a guy that played it, I think I have a different perspective on it. That's why like if the Steelers were to ask me, hey, will you look at this? Will you evaluate this? Will you like walk me through what you see here? Yeah. I would love to do that. I would love to be a part of that kind of stuff because I feel like I have a different view than a lot of people that just watch film would see, you know? And I may miss things too, that they're professionals at watching film in terms of watching a player do things. But in terms of being out there and doing certain things, like I'd love to go to a game and watch it like a live game. Like I would just watch that player. Yeah. Okay, look at the way he comes off the field. Does he go to the bench and pout? Does he go sit down and is he throwing his hands up and blaming other people, like doing that? Or is he, my bad? Yeah. Like those are like the little intangible things when he comes off the sideline, is he going to his lineman after he gave up a sack? Is he, guy dropped the pass, is he going right back to him or is he not throwing the ball anymore? Right. Like those are the things that I would want to see because I think those are all valuable things that lead to great leadership that get guys behind you that make them want to play for you. Yeah, what do you know, right? No. Yeah, I think, listen, man, I'm not going to tell you what, one, you're retired, but I'm not, if you're getting back into the workforce, I'm not going to tell you what job it takes, but I think you'd be pretty good at that, man. I feel like, do you feel like if you did that, if they were to reach out or any team reach out and they're like, hey, I have 18 years of tape on you. Seems like you'd be good at reading some of this stuff. You think that'd be a gig you'd have a lot of fun in? I think I'd rather do that than coach, than be a full-time coach. Coaching is... Was that scouting then, right? You'd be a scout? Or a consultant maybe a better term, or than a scout. I mean, I guess you'd be scouting. A sultan. A consultant? A sultan. Sultan of throwing? I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what that looks like. And maybe it's like, hey, listen, we got two guys. We'd love for you just to give us your opinion. Yeah. But... Again, I asked at times that, when I was playing, like, hey, if I could ever help you guys with something like a receiver, a tight end, whatever, I'd love to do that, and never really got asked to do it, which is fine. They don't have to do. That's not my job. My job is to throw the ball. But yeah, if there was ever I can impart any little bit of wisdom like that, I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm sure we could use it. I'm sure that would help a lot. You'd mentioned linemen in that. Leads us to this next question by Max Musil. Or Muscle? Sorry, Max, have I botched that? He wants to know what separates great offensive linemen from the rest. Heart. Heart. Just the willingness to keep it going. To protect your quarterback. And I've said it, and I'll say it, and I'll live by the stone, die by the stone, if that's the right way to say it. I will always take a lineman with more heart and less talent than more talent and less heart. And I've had them both. I've had guys that have more talent than they know what to do with, but no heart, and it's just like they'll give up a sack and they'll just kind of walk away. It doesn't feel like it bothers them that their quarterback or that they didn't do their job. And then guys that just were not uber talented, that just had more heart, and it ate them up that they gave up a sack or that they didn't block a guy or they didn't finish. And then every once in a while you get a guy that's got both. Marquise Pouncey. I was going to say Pouncey. Yeah. You get a guy that has both, and it's just, that's gold jacket time. Yeah, for sure. Troy wants to know, this is a faith question here. What was the moment that you realized you were all in on your faith? God bless. Thank you, Seven. Hit you with one of these. Bam. All in. Well, I grew up in the church, grew up in the good, in the faith. I would say that I think there's my kids ask me all the time, is so-and-so a Christian? Like if they hear a song, like someone says anything about Jesus or church or anything, Dad, is that person a Christian? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. I think that there's, and I've had this conversation. There's a difference between believing and having a relationship. Sure. I think I've always believed. I think that my relationship, I've worked on it. As you talk about getting in the book and, talking to God every day, through prayer, through just normal conversation. I think there's multiple ways that you can grow in your relationship. And so that's what I think I've gone from a belief belief in God and Jesus to a relationship, a personal relationship with my Lord and Savior. And so I think that's where, if that really answers the question, and when that time was, it's probably been, the last 15 or so years that I've really, and I'd like to think that I've tried to grow it.
Sure.
Every day, every week, every year. Like it's grown stronger and stronger, and I hope it never stops. I mean, that's my goal, is to keep growing in my relationship and my walk and my faith every single day. Which is, why we've said it on here and other places, is get in the Word, surround yourself with great people like you, like the amazing men that we're going to meet with tonight. Just put a really good people in your life that can model and hold you accountable and help you when you need it. I think that's important.
Yeah. And I think, just to add a caveat to that, I think the moment is, I always used to say the language, get over yourself, but I think it's when you get to the end of yourself. That's going to sound like generic language until you have that moment in your life. It's going to look different for everybody, but that the same thing's happening. It's like when you get to the end, when you come to terms with your limitations and your understanding of that God doesn't have any and his presence there, when you get to the end of yourself, I think you start realizing like, oh, yeah, I don't need to drive this thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where I'm going.
What's Carrie said? Jesus, take the wheel.
Turns out I don't know how to drive. So, jumping back into football, Steel Curtain 5575 wants to know: do we stick with Jaylen Warren or draft a running back in the first or third round, since we lost our second rounder for DK?
I would not go in the first round running back. I'm not a proponent of that. I think there's always a couple guys that, if they came, could be game changers, but there's not going to be one at our pick that I would mess with. I would go, and again, I think Jalen's a perfect example. You can find guys in the draft, especially if you've got a guy that you're going to split a lot of time with. I would try and go late rounds. I would try and go 4 or 5. Maybe there's a guy, that's where I would go. I wouldn't go before third round with a running back. I think there's more important needs. I think Jalen can do a lot, but if you get another guy in, maybe it's committee. Maybe you get 2 guys. One's up. Maybe you have someone on your practice squad right now, or that you've had that you like, that's a good third down back. That's I wouldn't do in the third. I would consider in the fourth. But again, if there's a guy there in the third, you're like, man, this is a dude we need to have, then I would do it.
I would also not overlook Kenneth Gainwell, who is an acquisition.
Yeah, exactly. So I forgot about this. So you have those 2 guys, and then there's probably a third guy somewhere out there. I would not go running back early at all.
Yeah. Out of all the defensive players you've played against, who would be your most coveted player to get on your podcast, and why?
Oh man, defensive players?
Yeah, and they won't tackle you on the podcast. You get defensive players you played against.
Man,
maybe they will tackle you. I don't know.
Yeah, they might. I was really good friends with Eric Weddle. Was a really, really good safety, smart. Probably surprised a lot of people that I would pick. Like, he's one I would consider because he'd be a great conversation. He's a great dude, super smart football player. One of those guys you just always had to know where he was, and he was like a thorn in your side, just like that gnat that was always. Yeah, Eric, I called you a gnat.
That's a big gnat.
But I think people. It would probably be fun to get up and talk stories with Ray Lewis or Suggs. I mean, Suggs would obviously be huge, sitting over there and. Sizzle, be quiet. We had to mute Mike because he would just want to talk.
Huge, both like personality and literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those would be the ones off the top of my head I would think about.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Charles wants to know, what was your first training camp like?
It was. I don't remember a lot. It was a long time ago, but it was. I remember being a blur because
back in the day.
Yeah, because I came in as like the 3/4. It was Tommy. Charlie, Brian St. Pierre, and myself were the 4 quarter, and forgive me if there was someone else there, but I don't think there was. And so I was kind of like, I was just hanging with Saint, trying to figure out what was going on. And then I think Charlie got hurt in that camp. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Charlie. So then all of a sudden it was like, okay, we all move up a spot. And then it was like, also you got to take a lot more reps and do more things. Just a whirlwind, trying to survive. I remember, getting in the huddle the first time when I got my chance with the ones, getting in the huddle. Jeff Hardings was a center, and the first thing, like, I come in the huddle, I go to call the play, and he's like, "Speak up, louder." I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. Like, thought I was yelling, but so yeah, they didn't make it easy on me at all. But But yeah, it was crazy to be like in the huddle with guys like Jerome Bettis and to see Hines Ward and Plexico, Antoine Randall, Alan Faneca, Jeff Hardings, Marvell Smith, Kendall Simmons, Jeremy Tooman, Jay Reamersma, all those guys. It was so cool.
How did the dynamic from that training camp change to the one that you had after you had that 15 and
after the rookie year. Yeah. I mean, again, but remember at training camp my first year, I was not expected to play at all.
Right.
And then you go on the run, you win, you lose in the AFC, and it was like, okay, I feel like the guys maybe at that time were like, okay, maybe we have a quarterback.
Sure.
That's at the time it was like, he just got this rookie in here. And then it's like, okay, I think we got a shot. We went and won it. And I think they're like, okay, you kind of every camp, every year, every time you play, you earn a little bit more respect. And I think guys, just understand a little bit more what you have and that you're going to be there for a little while.
Is it ever like, what was it like for you going from having to earn the respect every time you get on the field, like having like early in your career, to walking out knowing that most teams already had that respect for you? Did that change anything the way you approach the game?
I think I always just strive to keep like I never gave myself. I don't think I ever gave myself like, okay, I'm there. I don't need to like do this, Like I feel like I always was trying to go.
Keep the chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, and maybe at some point you kind of you lose that, and I think that's where it's like, okay, maybe it's time to go, and I don't have that chip anymore.
Yeah, I would imagine that'd be weird when you go out and you're young and you get all these old heads like, oh, we're about to eat, and then you're able to prove that to them, and then later in your career having DBs on the other side say, man, I had your poster on my wall.
Yeah. Like, can I get your jersey?
Yeah. So I feel like that might impact the psyche a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you just want to then prove to them that the way they look at you is right.
When you win, you give them another poster. Here's for your new place, bro. That'd be awesome. Favorite non-football moment from being a Steeler? That's a unique question, Marty.
Favorite non?
Yeah. What are your favorite
football
non-football moment from being a Pittsburgh Steeler?
I would probably say, either getting drafted. Like, does that count? Like, that's non-football.
I mean, it's a pretty tight moment too.
That holding a Lombardi. I mean, it's the football, but it's not actually playing the game. But honestly, probably getting on the field after games with my kid, like watching my kids run around on the field after games. You come out of the locker room change and walk in, and the kids would get to run on the field and play and just get grass stained up and whatever. Like those were always fun to have my family after games to wait on me. That was just so cool. Or to see them up in the box, things like that. Like those are really special to me.
Who's the funniest teammate you've ever had, most trustworthy / loyal, and most intelligent?
Well, okay. First one was funny.
Funny. Funniest teammate you ever had.
Man. AB was pretty funny.
Yeah.
AB said some things that were just like you're just like, where does he come up with these things? That's spectacular.
I think he's still pretty hilarious.
He was pretty funny. Trying to think.
Most trustworthy / loyal. I feel like that has to be 53, right?
Probably Pounce. Yeah, Pounce or Heath.
Oh, yeah. And the most intelligent?
Man in the mirror. Most you know what? Probably I would say either man, that's a tough one. There's a lot of I put some intelligent, really, really smart guys. I would say I thought Alan Faneca was up there. I mean, you could put Pounce, a lot of linemen. Yeah, I would say either Allen, Hines Ward was obviously super smart, knew what kind of everyone was doing. Tight ends were always really good. Jeremy Tooman, Matt Spaeth, Heath, those guys, because they have to know line, they have to know receivers, they have to know the quarterback. There were times I screwed up a call in the huddle, and the tight ends would be like, Ben, it's not the way it is. Oh, yeah, my bad. So that's a tough one. I'll put a couple guys in that one.
Okay, we got a couple more here for you. Favorite hunt that you've ever been on?
Ooh, going to New Zealand was a lot of fun.
Do we have that? Do we have a shot of that?
Yeah, to get that. No, I can't see him back there. I don't have any guests.
Behind Pat. It's in the guest chair.
Doing that, and then recently, the last couple of years, going to Cactus Jack with Levi. Going with Merrill this year. That's just such a fun group of people down there, and it's an amazing hunt. I would love to go duck hunting with Duck too. I know he's been invited. I'm going to go down there at some point and do that. That'd be a lot of fun.
I feel like I would love. I don't know that I've ever been hunting. Now that I think about it, but I feel like I would love duck hunting because you know, and you just kind of spray and pray, right? You just kind of get the. And I love duck. It's delicious.
Yeah.
And I love Duck as a human. He's a cool dude. If you could have been anything else besides an NFL quarterback, Matty Cakes 9573 wants to know, what would it have been?
Well, probably three things. I probably would have been either James Bond, Maverick, or a teacher.
I mean, they're three very closely competitive careers.
They all are really, you can see where they all sit together.
What are you teaching?
Gym.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they say. Those who can't teach gym. Just kidding. Funniest moment you've ever had on the Steelers. The Savvy couple wants more stories from you. Funniest moment you had on the Steelers, maybe with teammates.
Gosh, I don't.
On the field, is there a moment when you're calling a play, you're reading a defense, and you're in the game, and something ridiculous happens and it cracks you up on the field? Not really, but
I mean, there's probably something out there that someone would remind me of. But the only thing the first thing that came to mind is I was just trying to think of like, okay, locker room, on the field. I mean, there's lots of funny things, and usually it's happening when you're winning or doing really good things.
Yeah.
It's little thing like linemen are doing something funny, like trying to like trash talk or whatever. But I would say probably the one time, I think we were playing Carolina at home and we were beating them pretty good. And I gave a dilly call.
Oh, I love the dilly.
And the guys were just like, because they're like, there's no, we talked about it in practice and they're like, there's no way you'll do it. And we were winning and I did it. And I think that was just, we got a kick out of that. So
the dilly. Just making up I like the making up the calls thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like, probably the most serious thing you could like about your job is it's the instruction of the offense, and you're just throwing some nonsense in the middle of it.
For sure.
I love that. Have we talked about the welcome to the league moment? You have one of those? Where you're like, oh, this is the NFL now, boys.
I don't know. I mean, I do remember, my first game playing against Baltimore in Baltimore when Tommy got hurt, and we actually had, I think I've told the story, but I'll tell it again. We were at the end of the game, we had a 2-minute drill. I have the ball. We're getting ready to drive down the field. And we actually might talk about it with Cower. And it was, at the time, our 2-minute package was made up of 10 plays. And so you'd be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you'd have to go like 6. It was kind of weird when you got to the 6s and 7, 8, 9. So you'd be like, you'd tell the guys like, hey, 9, 9, 9. And everyone would know where to line up, what the play was, right? Real complex type stuff. And then instead of 10, because that's what? 5.
Right.
It was this, 10, 10, 10, 10. Well, I did 10, 10, 10, 10. And so I threw a 10
told him a
play, and it got intercepted for a touchdown. So
I was going to say, well, at least, it's the worst case scenario. Like, it would have been one thing if you threw it, like, bro, we were off. It was an incomplete pass. It was batted down.
No, I just totally screwed up.
I turned myself into 7 points the other way.
Yes, that was not good. And we lost the game.
Yeah. Well, let's go from the funniest moment to scariest moment. Do you have a scariest moment in the NFL?
Well, I mean, I would say anytime that you like get hurt, like where either you get hurt or someone gets Ryan Shazier, obviously was very scary for all of us. I think for me personally, one time at home, I got hit to the point where I could move, but I couldn't feel my fingers and hands. So like doctor was pricking me with a needle and I couldn't feel it. That was pretty scary. I think anytime you get like rolled up on and you're like, oh, like I just did something to my knee, or you land on your shoulder and you feel something crunch. Those are all scary, but probably my elbow when I threw and I couldn't feel like my like felt that it go down my forearm and I couldn't grab anymore. And Doc's like, man, I can't. Like, that's the first time I think that he's really like, I couldn't talk him into letting me go back out there.
Sure.
When I'm like, Doc, I can go. Like, I've had high ankle sprains. I've had things before where I'm like, Doc, I may not be good, but I can go out there.
Yeah.
And this was the first time that I can remember him being like, Ben, you can't. Like, I can't let you go. And so I just was like, what do you mean? And then obviously all the stuff, the calls and the MRIs and the scans, and you may never throw again, and this, that, and the other. That was pretty intense. Ashley and I were sitting up there in the laundry room having that conversation and really praying and thinking like, what in the world?
Yeah. I feel like there was a twofold moment, right? Because you threw it, the initial throw where you felt it pop or rip off. And then you had another play after that before.
Yeah, I threw a ball like at least once, maybe twice more after that because I was like, it just feels weird.
So that throw, the following throw after the initial one, and then the first time that you went to the sideline and tried to grip a ball. Do you remember though, like are those moments distinct in your mind?
I remember the last throw because I think it was incomplete to Juju, and I was like, dang. I'm like, something's just not right.
Yeah.
And I went over to Doc, and he was like, squeeze and what do you feel? And I told him exactly what I felt. And usually when I tell him like what I feel, he's like, okay, let me do some tests.
Sure.
And when I told him what I felt, I could just like I remember seeing him and just being like just air. He knew. Just like deflate. Like, he was like, I don't even need to do any tests. Like, Ben, we got to go in. I'm like, no, He's like, I said, it's not. We'll go halftime, or whatever it was. And so I just think like that was I do remember that.
What was your plan? Because you couldn't grip you had, for those who don't know, in 2019, 3 of the 5 tendons.
Yeah, the flexor tendons that squeeze your hand.
That's when your shoulder injury or your elbow injury ripped off to where you couldn't do this. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You wanted to wait till halftime. What was your plan?
I don't know. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know they ripped off.
But I'm sure you didn't know. But you could feel like, brother, I got the 2. You probably do this.
Sling it. I don't know.
Hey, you like this is better than the majority of us with all 5.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love that you were like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
that's.
I don't know what my plan was.
Well, praise God, man. You got back out there.
Yeah.
So let's do one more and we'll finish it up with this last beer. This is interesting because I think I would have an answer for this for you, but I'm curious on what yours is. If you could change one thing in your football career, what would it be and why? If you could change one thing.
I don't know. That's tough. My first initial thought was like to win the Super Bowl against Green Bay.
That's what I thought.
But I think like if I think more about it, like that would obviously be a huge one. I always said that like, I got criticized sometimes for not being the best teammate because I didn't care as much about like I didn't take the time to try and be friends with everybody.
Sure.
Obviously, in 18 years, you come across a lot of guys, a lot of friends. And I would always kind of said, listen, if you're looking for a friend, go to the Boys and Girls Club. Like, I'm here to win. I'm here to win games. I'm here to win championships. And if we can be friends along the way, that's great. But, like, becoming a friend should not trump my willingness to try and win. And so I guess, like, that would be another one. Like, maybe if I could go back and just be a better teammate all the time to guys. Like if there was ever someone that I wronged or didn't do, wasn't kind to or whatever. Looking back now, I wish maybe I could fix that wrong or say I'm sorry or whatever. But I still would stand by what I said is I'm here to win. But maybe I still could have done that, but found time to be better at, I would maybe just been there more for guys if they needed me. Like I said, I think I was a good teammate to most guys. I think most guys would tell you that I was a good teammate, but I think to me, if there were any that said that I was like not good at all or a jerk or whatever, then I probably would have liked to have just amended that or whatever, I guess.
Sure. Hey man, that is an admirable answer and worthy of a
deserve a beer. Give me a Brendan Conley.
Yeah, it's like we finish each other's sandwiches. All right, here we go. The last one from Brooklyn Brewing Company. Oh, no. Nice. Here you go. This is the Brooklyn Lager. It's an amber lager. It's 5.2%.
Amber lager.
All right.
We have been down
a
lot of alleys in Brooklyn today.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We might have even gone to some of the other boroughs at this point. This is bold, tasty, and iconic. This is the lager that changed the world. Our dry-hopped amber lager was born in Brooklyn and is crafted to be as bold as it is inviting.
Look, Willie Cologne's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, there you go.
Billy, this one's for you. I'm going to just try a little more of that to see if I like it like I thought I do.
The amber has,
Yeah, usually amber sometimes gives you a little uniqueness that I don't always love. Not love. All three All three are really, really good. This Pilsner's, which usually I don't love the Pilsners. I mean, I do something.
You're not reaching.
Am I kidding?
Yeah. Who am I kidding?
I like all these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Brooklyn Brewery. Thank you, Spence. Thank you for the time. Sorry for any of you that didn't get what you wanted for this show.
I'm so sorry.
Those of you that are going to watch this whole thing and realize that I thought our show was going to be 30 minutes. We went way too long.
Yeah.
Hopefully is part of like our true family. Like there might be 5,000 people watch this episode. And you know what? I think you're going to really enjoy and you're going to think that you're down here and you're going to get a true taste of what it's like to sit in the basement.
Yes.
And so for those of you that decided to sit here and join us and stay to the very end, this one's for you. Till next time, we'll talk about the draft. See when we see you. Or we'll see you another time.